In the village of Omomba lived an orphan by the name Oloma. She lived alone in her hut. Her roof leaked when it rains, but despite her poverty, Oloma never complained. Every day she went to the farm to gather firewood, hoping that one day life would change. One day, while gathering firewood in the forest, Oloma met a strange man. He wore fine clothes, and his appearance was quite different from the villagers. The man greeted her with a smile and offered her a deal, huge amount of money, in exchange for bringing him people's waist, hair, and shoes. The offer was too tempting for Oloma to ignore. The thought of a better life for herself made her decision easier. She agreed, even though she felt a small tug of guilt inside her heart. The man gave her instruction on how to collect the item and promised that the first payment would be made soon. Oloma returned to the village with a new plan. She began to secretly visit the villagers' home at night, collecting their waist, hair, and shoes. No one suspected her at first. She carefully carried everything to the meeting point where the man waited, and true to his word, he handed her a large sum of money. As days passed, Oloma grew bolder. She became the village invisible collector, moving around unnoticed, gathering the unwanted items from people's homes. The money kept coming, and her life slowly began to improve. She bought new clothes, fixed her roof, and her family noticed the change. Despite Oloma's success, the villagers started to notice strange things happening in Omomba. People were losing their heads, shoes were disappearing, and the waste bin seems to have been tampered with. Whispers began to circulate about a thief in the village, but no one could figure out who it was. One day, a curious villager, Obi, noticed Oloma acting suspiciously near someone's waste bin. He kept an eye on her from a distance, watching her go in and out of home. Obina's suspicions grew, but he needed proof before confronting her. Obina's curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to follow Oloma one evening. He tried her quietly as she made her rounds, collecting the waste and items from the villagers. He noticed her going to the shadowed spots of the forest where she met the mysterious man. Obi hid behind a tree and watched the scene unfold. He saw Oloma hand over the collected items, and the man gave her money in return. It was then that Obi realized the truth. He rushed back to the village to tell the others, but he had to be careful not to alert Oloma. The next morning, Obi gathered a group of villagers, including the village chief. They met in secret and shared their suspicions about Oloma's activities. Together they formed a plan to catch her in the act and expose the strange man who had been buying the villagers' belongings. The villagers decided to set a trap for Oloma. They planned to leave waste, hair, and shoes in the strategic location around the village, hoping she would take the bait. They waited in hiding, ready to confront her once she collected the items. That night, Oloma visited the homes as usual, unaware that the villagers were watching her. She gathered the waist, hair, and shoes, feeling proud of her growing collections. But when she reached the meeting spot. She was shocked to find the villagers waiting for her. The villagers surrounded Uloma and demanded an explanation. She tried to defend herself, but the evidence was clear. The mysterious man had been using her to gather the villagers' belongings for unknown purpose. The villagers were furious, but Uloma's shame was even greater. As the villagers were about to confront the man, he suddenly disappeared. Laughing at their efforts, he mocked them, revealing that he had no intention of paying Uloma or anyone else. He was a spirit using the items for a dark ritual, and he would never be caught. The villagers tried to capture the man, but he vanished into thin air, leaving only the lingering smell of burnt leaves. Uloma fell to her knees, realizing that a spirit had tricked her. The villagers were shaken, but they knew they had to put an end to the mystery once and for all. The village chief, wise and experienced, declared that they would cleanse the village of the spirit influence. They would burn all the collected waste, hair and shoes, and offer prayers to the gods to protect them from the evil forces. Uloma was filled with regrets, but she had learned a valuable lesson. Uloma confesses to the villagers and promised never to let greed cloud her judgment again. The villagers, though angry, forgave her. They understood the power of temptation and vowed to protect their community from such deceitful tricks in the future. The villagers held a cleansing ceremony where they burnt all the items Uloma had collected. The smoke rose into the sky. The evil spirit seemed to fade. Uloma felt a sense of relief, knowing that she had been forgiven. Uloma worked hard to rebuild her life, this time with honesty and integrity. The villagers began to trust her again, and though life was still difficult, she was no longer tempted by easy money. She learned the true value of hard work and honesty.